Hello, I'm Dave Knauer, Measured Progress Program Manager for Empower Me. Today I'd like to review important information about test security for the 2015-16 Empower Me Mathematics and ELA literacy assessments. The quality and usefulness of the assessment data generated by the Empower Me assessments depends on the uniformity of test administration and the security of test materials. Valuable information about student achievement of content standards measuring the effectiveness of Maine's college and career readiness standards will be seriously compromised if test security is not strictly implemented and maintained. What is test security? It's protecting the security of test questions so no students or teachers see them in advance of testing. Ensuring that student work on the assessment represents the independent work of that student. Ensuring that nothing unfairly interferes with the student's work. Why does test security matter? Because test results are used to make educational decisions at the local, state, and federal levels. It is critical that test results are accurate, fair, and comparable. Staff must be notified that using current test materials to familiarize students with test-taking strategies is a violation of test security and testing procedures. There are penalties associated with test security violations, including delay in reporting of student, school, or SAU results, invalidation of student, school, or SAU results, and investigation by the Department of Education for possible certification action. Test security is the responsibility of everyone who comes into contact with testing materials, including district assessment coordinators, school principals, school test coordinators, test administrators and proctors, and students. And each of these roles should receive instruction on test security policies. The Maine DOE is responsible to establish and communicate test security policies and procedures. Students should be informed about test security and ethical considerations, should not participate in any form of cheating, only provide answers that are strictly their own, do not consult notes, textbooks, or other teaching materials. Do not use cell phones, computers, or other digital or electronic devices. Do not share test questions with other students or consult other students, staff, or anyone else accessible to them during test administration. Duplication of test materials is prohibited. Duplication includes, but is not limited to, audio taping, videotaping, photographing, photocopying, and handwritten copying. This includes both online and paper pencil test materials. Test materials must be handled and stored securely. No test or answer booklet and no student work, including any record of computer-generated responses, may be retained, discarded, recycled, removed, or destroyed unless permission has been requested and received from the Maine DOE due to hazardous material contamination. If a student should become ill during testing, resulting in testing materials becoming contaminated with hazardous biological matter such as blood or vomit, please contact the Maine DOE for guidance immediately. The Test Administration Manual and School Test Coordinator Manual are not secure materials and may be discarded after testing has concluded. As a school test coordinator, you are ultimately responsible for the security of Empower Me test materials while test materials are under your control. It is critical that you or your designee perform the following steps. Inform staff and students of test security and ethical considerations. Make sure no phones, cameras, or other electronic devices other than the online testing device itself are used during testing. And collect student test login tickets after testing concludes. If you are using paper pencil testing materials, inventory them as soon as they are received by your school. Your shipment will include a material summary sheet to check against the shipment contents. Report any missing materials immediately to the Measured Progress Service Desk. Monitor the distribution and use of these materials. Secure test materials in a locked area after each testing day or period. Ensure complete and error-free return of paper pencil materials to Measured Progress when testing is completed. Under no circumstance should anyone have access to test materials other than trained school personnel designated by you to be directly involved with test distribution or administration and students enrolled in grades 3 through 8 during actual test administration. You are responsible for protecting test materials from being used to prepare students for the test or viewed by unauthorized individuals from receipt of the materials at your school until their return shipment to measured progress. After review of all test security and privacy protocols, school test coordinators and test administrators must sign their respective test security agreement and return it to the district assessment coordinator. The agreement attests that you have read the test administrator manual and participated in this test security webinar, agree to follow all test security policies as instructed, agree to report any potential testing irregularities as instructed, and acknowledge that test data will be analyzed to detect any unusual patterns. Download and sign the correct test security agreement for either test administrators or for school test coordinators. What is a test irregularity? Test irregularities may also result in test security violations. A test irregularity could be anything that happens during testing that is not consistent with established protocol, whether intentional or not. Some examples are presented on this slide. A fire drill in the middle of a test session, the failure to provide an accommodation, allowing a calculator in the test session when one was not allowed, students using the wrong test ticket login, students talking about the test in the restroom, the technology failure during testing, the presence of posters with relevant content on classroom walls. If you suspect a potential test irregularity has occurred, you should contact the school test coordinator immediately. The school test coordinator will then determine if the irregularity can be addressed on-site or if it needs to be escalated to the district assessment coordinator. The district assessment coordinator may then contact the Maine DOE using an online form in SurveyMonkey. The Maine DOE will then advise the district assessment coordinator regarding a resolution, and the district assessment coordinator works with the Maine DOE on any required investigation. Be mindful that the scheduling of test sessions may impact test security. If possible, all students in a grade within a school should take the same test session at the same time, following the NECAP model. But simultaneous test administration may not be possible due to limited technology resources. Consider ways you can schedule tests so as to limit the exposure of a test session to the fewest number of days. To limit exposure of test materials, any test session must be completed in a single school day. If a student requires extended time, the test session should begin early in the day. Any breaks in the test session must be supervised in a secure environment. After extended pauses or inactivity in online testing, the test administrator or proctor must enter a Proctor password to enable the student to continue. Makeup sessions are intended for students who were absent for a scheduled test session, not to finish a test. To repeat, any test session must be completed in a single school day. Test sessions that span multiple days will be investigated as testing irregularities. Having a proctor present during test session in addition to the test administrator is recommended. This is not a requirement and may not be feasible in all situations, but it is good testing practice. It allows continuous supervision of the test administration while a proctor may leave the room to locate a school test coordinator or information technology coordinator, accompany a student to the nurse, or assist a student through a crisis. For 2015-16, the Maine DOE will analyze test data to determine any patterns that may indicate a test security concern, require superintendent sign-off following testing, establish on-site monitoring by the Maine DOE, and establish a tip line for public reporting of concerns. Please download the School Test Coordinator Manual and the Test Security Agreement from the Maine DOE Assessment website. Remember to complete, sign, and submit the Test Security Agreement to your District Assessment Coordinator. Call Nancy Godfrey, Assessment Coordinator at the Maine Department of Education 207-624-6775 or nancy.godfrey@maine.gov immediately if any situation occurs that could cause the test administration to be compromised. Any loss of testing materials should be immediately reported to the Measured Progress Service Desk at 855-652-8929 or Maine Service Center at measuredprogress.org. Thank you.